So Matt Gaetz is in even bigger trouble than we thought, because his investigation has now gone international. Originally, we thought it was located entirely in the United States. Gaetz was accused of awful things, of doing awful things across state lines within the United States, but that was it. But those charges alone, of course, were very serious. They carry a potential life sentence, but the point was, that was the scope of it. But last night it was revealed by multiple sources that Matt Gaetz was under investigation since 2018 and 2019 because of a trip he took at that time to the Bahamas. And the basic gist of it, without going into all the nitty-gritty details, is that he went with one of his political donors. And that donor basically gave Gaetz this luxury trip where he gave Gaetz accommodations and all those sorts of things, but also provided him with women. And he provided him with women in the way that's not legal. And the additional crucial question is, if those women were brought from another country, be it the US or another, to the Bahamas for that purpose, that makes it a global crime. You are not allowed to do that. You are not allowed to bring people to countries and then offer them as services to your rich clients. That is not legal. And that is what effectively triggered the whole Matt Gaetz investigation. It wasn't necessarily this specific relationship with the 17-year-old that kicked it all off. That looks like it became revealed. It looks like that was sort of exposed after they looked into this trip with Matt Gaetz. So this looks awful. This looks extremely awful. We literally have a story now of Matt Gaetz getting bribed, getting political contributions in the form of accompaniment, in the form of, women servicing him, right? Like literally, we're talking about absolutely deeply seedy, scummy things as a form of political bribe so his donor could get laws passed by Matt Gaetz. That's what we're talking about here. He went to Matt Gaetz. He took Gaetz to a trip to the Bahamas. He gave him what he wanted, and he wanted a certain thing. Gaetz got it, apparently, and that's the crucial investigation. Gaetz he's so screwed, guys. As I noted earlier, the one allegation with regard to the minor is a life potential sentence. He was already facing potential life in prison. Now you're adding this sort of thing on an international basis. There's no indication whether these women in the Bahamas were minors or not, but you're adding this on an international basis. He is in huge trouble. This is why no one's sticking up for him. It's not just that no one likes Matt Gaetz. That's a big part of it. But it's that this is super serious. This is not Matt Gaetz accused of stealing a bit of money from his congressional fund. This is not Matt Gaetz accused of doing something awful in a corrupting sense in traditional politics. This is him being accused of absolute exploitation of incredibly vulnerable people on an international basis. So when you ask yourself, why did the Donald Trump statement only be 2 lines? Why was it only 2 lines? Why was the Donald Trump statement only 2 lines? This is why. Because even Donald Trump, at least when his lawyers and advisors got to him, they said, "Sir, you can't stick your neck out for this. You would look absolutely terrible sticking your neck out for Matt Gaetz here, because what he's accused of is literally evil, awful, exploitative, demonic things, and you can't defend it." Gaetz is absolutely screwed, guys. I really don't see how he survives this politically. It may well be the case that ultimately, in a court of law, evidence can sometimes be hard to piece together and he might skate by, but I would be shocked if he survives this with a political career intact. He'll be expelled, he'll be forced to resign. Best case scenario, he can quietly ride out his term until 2022 and sort of just resign and maybe let some other Republican run in his seat. But Gaetz is done, and he should be, because he has done awful things to vulnerable people in his own state, in his own country, and now across international borders. What a monster.